Hey everyone, so this is the end of the year. If you're watching this, you're near the end of 2022 or you're in a future year, 2023 for 2025, who knows, but this is the end of the year recap of my year. And 2022 was an interesting but good year. Well, mixed things happened, good and bad things happened this year, but it ended pretty well. But let's just get straight into what happened to me this year. So we started the year January at a cabin in the woods. We celebrated New Year's at this place, and I skated for the first time in 10 years on January 1st, but it was pretty fun. I had difficulties since it was a long time ago, but I posted a YouTube short about it. I posted it on TikTok, but I skated and I still have the ice skates with me, and I haven't skated since, so it's probably been almost a year since that day that I skated. And also I went back to work, and I can finally say in the end of the year recap what I've been working on since it's already out. But I went back to work on the Netflix show The Recruit. I already made a video about my experience working on The Recruit, but started this production in October of 2021, and we went on the break for the holidays, and we went back to it at the end of January. We were supposed to start earlier, but since there was a new variant with COVID-19, our scheduling got pushed back, but I still went back to work at the end of the month. And in February, same thing happened. I was still working on The Recruit. Basically, it took 6 months out of my life. 3 months at the end of 2021 and 3 months at the start of 2022. I just worked the entire month on this show, and I went to the hospital by myself for the first time. I electrocuted my hand while deplugging something while at work when we were wrapping stuff. And the next day I asked the medic if it was normal that my hand was a little numb from what happened, and he just sent me to the hospital. I was there for like 3 hours, and they asked me if I wanted to go back to work and that everything was normal after you get an electric shock. And I went back to work, and that's it. Nothing else happened. I was fine. In March, I just still worked on The Recruit. Like I said, this took 6 months out of my life. I had no social life and didn't do anything else than work, and on my day offs, sleep, eat, laundry most of the time. But I finished The Recruit by the end of March, like March 30th. I finished the production. We wrapped everything, we cleaned everything, and I was finally happy to be done with this production because it didn't feel like we were in 2022. It felt like I was still in 2021 or even 2020 when the pandemic started, and I was just glad that this production was over. But now we're in April, and I got COVID, and I already made a video about it, and because of that I had to push back my trip to Mexico. I got COVID from someone at work, and they said, oh well, why are you telling us you had COVID? You're no longer working with us, you had your last day, blah blah blah. But I was in contact with these people, and I still wanted to let them know. But yeah, tested positive. My mother tested positive too. A lot of people I know tested positive from COVID this year. Almost everyone. I think everyone got COVID at this point, but I had it. It wasn't that bad, but I had a sore throat, coughing a little, but it still sucked because I had plans and I had to reschedule it, but it is what it is. I thought I was invincible against it, but not everyone. After I got COVID, it was my 24th birthday. I didn't really do much. I think I just went to the restaurant with my family, and that's all. I didn't do anything else. But I went to Mexico on the last day of April, finally went there. Took a plane for the first time in so many years, and it's also still during a pandemic, but we're used to it now, and I'm triple vaxxed. Finally went to Mexico in Cancun, stayed there for a week, and started the month of May in Mexico. It was pretty fun, relaxing at the beach. Just being at the beach every day was quite relaxing and fun. Drinking pina coladas, just being in the hot weather instead of the yuck weather in Canada. Winter's over, but it's still a little cold in Canada around that period of time. That trip was fun, and when I got back, we went to another cabin in the woods of one of my mom's friends for like a few days. It was alright. I think when we went there, there was a massive storm. Oh yeah, there was a huge storm, and we lost power, and when we left, the power was still gone. And also at the end of May, I started to work on a French-Canadian production. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it, but I decided why not, since I don't have anything else going on, and I was supposed to work on another production but in August, but I decided I have nothing else, so why not? I worked in the show Tout Raisonnable. It's a French-Canadian show, like I said. I don't really watch television, so I know some of the actors that I worked with, but I just don't watch TV. I watch sports, YouTube, and Twitch, and that's it. And also in June, I worked a few days on that show still. For the first time in like 2 years, I was like, damn, I don't have a full-time production in summer, so might as well just do fun stuff this summer. And now we get to July. July was quite one of the best months of the year for me. Well, May was great with Mexico, but in July, I still worked on the show Tout Raisonnable, but I went to the NHL draft in Montreal and saw Juraj Slafkovsky get drafted first overall by the Montreal Canadiens, and Shane Wright go from first favorite to be the first pick to now being drafted fourth overall by the Seattle Kraken. That was insane. This night was crazy, and I just wanted to be at the entry draft and got tickets the same day. It was hard to get tickets for the NHL draft, and I finally got them on the day it happened. Went there, had a crazy fun night, filmed and made a vlog about it. It's one of my most viewed videos on my channel. I milked content out of this with shorts and TikToks. Just a great time. And I went back on the show Tout Raisonnable and finished the show in July, but like I started from working a few days to being there full-time by the end of the year, and I finished the show with them and started back later this year. And now we get to August, and I was supposed to work on a production that I said yes to a few months in advance, but the same team from Tout Raisonnable gave me a better job position and a contract, of course, and I said yes, and it started in September. But now we get to August, I'm like, between these two contracts, I could just not do anything, but I decided to go work on the CBS show Ghosts, Ghost Season 2, and it's already live, it's already played on television, but I worked a few days on Ghosts. I had to prepare the catering the day before, had to get a COVID test, and worked in the woods like 4 hours away from Montreal, something like that, or just maybe 2 hours away, but with traffic it's longer. And I stayed in a hotel that was paid for by production, but that was fun, like that experience doing that on a production. And I worked for 4 to 5 days maybe on Ghosts, but it was fun. I went to see the CF Montreal. It's football or soccer. and the game finished at a tie 2-2, and it was quite fun. I made a video about it. I put it in a vlog time, and I made a YouTube short of the penalty kick that I witnessed there. So August was fun too. Now we get to September, and I reunited with some friends from high school that I haven't seen since the pandemic, and it was quite a fun night. And also I started the better job position in the show called À Cœur Battant, another French-Canadian show, and I worked on this show for the entire month of September and the next months coming up. In October, I still worked on the same show, and my better job position was a backup set PA. I was the backup to the set PA, so I had more responsibility. I also did 2 days as a set PA, and it was quite the thrill, stressful but exciting, and yeah, those 2 days were crazy. And I also won free tickets to a Montreal Canadiens preseason game against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it's probably the only time that I'll see the Leafs. It's preseason, and Matthews and Marner were playing. I don't like the Leafs when they play against Montreal, but seeing Matthews and Marner live was just great for me. And we saw Jonathan Drouin scored, and Slafkovsky had a pass on the goal. They lost 5-1, but at least I didn't pay for the great view that I had and the tickets. And in November, I still worked on the same show, and I got the flu. So influenzas everywhere, and I got the flu pretty badly. In my opinion, well, from how I felt from this flu and COVID, the flu was worst, really worst. Massive headache, my throat wasn't sore, but a massive headache, coughing a lot, my nose was leaking a lot. When I was sleeping, my entire body was in pain. I was freezing to death, like freezing so much that I was like screaming and almost crying because of how bad it was. And for the first time, I had to call off work because I was sick. It wasn't fun. It was way worse than COVID-19, but I got sick 2 times this year. It's crazy. And I still went back to work a few days later. I recovered a little, but also a few days before I had a party, got super drunk and hungover. The lack of sleep and that party with the work probably made me sick. Now we get to December. This month, finished the production. Just had a few parties for Christmas, the wrap party and everything. Was glad to be over with this show. It was a fun experience, new job position, and I was glad to be in the holidays like I am right now. And finally, the show that I worked on for 6 months, The Recruit, finally came out on Netflix. It was #1 for a week, and the majority of people that I know loved the show. Some people thought it was meh, but everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But I don't know if they're going to greenlight season 2. I don't know if they're coming back. From what I heard, they're coming back to Montreal, but nothing is confirmed yet. But it finally came out, and I can finally say that I worked on the show publicly. I also went to see the Montreal Canadiens versus the Calgary Flames, and Montreal won in a shootout 2-1. Insane game. It's the only game they won in that week that we went. We went there on a Monday, they won, and the next 2 to 3 games they lost. So we picked the right game to go see the Abs, and I'm actually going back in January to see them again against Seattle. The last thing I said that I did in 2022, celebrate the holidays, celebrate Christmas without any worries from the government, no restrictions for COVID, just a normal Christmas finally. And I had a great holiday time. The gifts that I received were great. In my opinion, I was spoiled, but had a fun time this holiday. New Year's Eve is tomorrow as I'm filming this. Yep, 2022 was a good year and I did the right decisions with work. Picked the job with the better position rather than the one I was supposed to do early on. And it paid off in the end in a good way, and I just did the right thing and I'm happy about it. So that's pretty much it. So I don't know what 2023 will bring. I'm probably gonna still work a lot in 2023, but who knows what happens next year. You never know. I'm gonna end this video right here. It's the last video of 2022. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on my social medias that will be in the description down below, and you can turn on the bell for notifications when I post. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.